What's up, guys? Coach Clark, Team RunRun, CPC. We're wrapping up track season for the high school kids, and some athletes are already starting to do their summer cross-country prep. So what are the goals, or what am I trying to do during my summer XC prep, especially if I'm an athlete who's trying to make the jump, move up a level, okay, get serious about it, go from whatever it is. I was a varsity athlete, but I did not make states. I'm trying to make states, or I made states, but I didn't medal. I'm trying to medal, or I was in the top 5 and I want a shot at winning, or I want a chance at making it to Nike Nationals. How do you make the big jump? Here is a general framework for how I think about and how I train athletes for summer. 1, keep it simple. You need to run more and run faster. Keep it simple. You need to run more than you did last summer, and you need to run faster than you did last summer. Now, they can't all happen at once. You have to gradually build into it, and this is why having a really good coach matters, but I'm gonna give you some basics around thinking about this. Maybe you're a coach, or maybe you're somebody you're coaching yourself. This is how I do it, okay? I don't have any secrets. I'll tell everybody how I do everything. Generally speaking, whether it's during the summer, or if we build slower, maybe we will get up to this mileage in that first 1 or 2 months of cross-country. You don't have to stop building mileage just because the summer is over. In fact, I try to set athletes up so we keep building into the fall. But the goal there should be to get from 25 to 33% more mileage than you've done in the past. So let's say you've never run more than 36 miles per week. Well, a third of that is 12, so I'm gonna try to get you to 48 miles per week. Now that's just a ballpark. Maybe we get to 50, maybe we only get to 45, whatever, but we're gonna try to get up to 33% more than you've done before. Now, if you're an athlete who's a little more mature, farther along, maybe you've done 60 miles per week. A third of that would get you up to 80, right? Maybe we wanna jump to 80, but maybe not, right? Maybe 25% is gonna be enough. So 15, so that would get us to 75 miles per week. But whatever it is, we're trying to build up to 25 to 33% more mileage than you've ever done before. And again, maybe we hit that during summer, or maybe we just set ourselves up to hit that in the first month or 2 of cross-country season. The details matter. How you build to that mileage matters, okay? This is how you don't get hurt. We want to run faster. Now, that does not mean you should go out and be just tearing it up every day and racing and trying to run yourself into the ground. That is going to cause problems. But on average, right, if you look at your average pace from the summer before, on average, your pace should be faster because you're a year faster. Now, the way I think about it is most of this mileage, okay, should be zone 2 to zone 4. Again, how we do that mileage matters. Zone 4 is technically anaerobic threshold. You only need to hit that once every week or 2, maybe even once every 3 weeks, but there's easy ways to build that into some tempos, some long runs, true anaerobic threshold work. But most of your mileage is here, okay? So don't go out and be ripping every day in zone 4. Most of your days should be zone 2, zone 3, but we do want to run faster. Do not go out and race. We're just on average trying to run faster than we did the summer prior. If you finish the summer and you're like, I'm running more than I've ever run and my average paces are faster than they've ever been, you're gonna PR. It's gonna be a good fall, okay? Now we still have to execute good training into the fall, but you're in a good spot. Now when we get past this, when we get into the details, okay? Number 3, I am a firm believer in hitting all energy systems, okay? So even though it's summer, we're still gonna hit all energy systems. Now, how we do this is super important. We're not gonna train like we're in the middle of track season, okay? You're not doing 400-meter repeats, 300-meter repeats every other week. You're not doing CV workouts or speed endurance workouts every week. It's not gonna look like that, okay? The proportions are gonna look different. Generally speaking, here's how I like to set up athletes for their summer training, okay? We're gonna hit zone 4, which is that threshold, every 1 to 2 weeks. We're gonna do some kind of threshold stimulus. Maybe it's in the long run. Maybe it is through threshold repeats, and we're gonna use heart rate to know that we're hitting the correct pace. I'm not gonna plug it into a calculator and just trust the running gods of Daniels and Tin Man and Macmillan or whatever calculator you like to use. I'm not using calculator for this. I don't find that it's super effective for a lot of kids. Some kids, it's on the money. Some adults, it's on the money, but for a lot of people, it's not. I'm gonna use heart rate for this. So we're gonna base this around heart rate. We're gonna try to run evenly the fastest paces we can hit while staying zone 4 or lower. Okay, we're not trying to go above zone 4. If you go above that, you're just getting better at tolerating lactic acid. You're not actually learning how to run faster in anaerobic threshold, but that's how we're gonna do it, generally speaking. We are gonna run max speed 1 time a week. We're gonna do max speed runs. Now, maybe those first couple weeks we don't hit max speed. We hit 85 or 90% of max speed just to condition the tissues and get the hips and the hamstrings and the glutes ready to do some max speed running, but you have to get your max speed from somewhere. I see this all the time. Athletes will come from maybe a soccer background or another fall sport or whatever, where they're getting a lot of sprinting in, and then they tried track out or they tried cross country out and they did really well, and they decide they're gonna go all in on running. Sometimes that's a mistake, sometimes it's the right decision. But if they're not doing max sprinting in their running training, but they are not playing that sport where they are sprinting, they get slower. Maybe they get stronger, but their PRs might not get that much better, especially in the lower distances. Max speed detrains every week, basically. You have to run top speed once a week, or it starts to detrain a little bit. Now, how do you do this? My favorite way is in place of strides. We're gonna do 3 to 6, depending on where you're at, max velocity runs. Maybe it's 30 meters, maybe it's 40 meters, maybe it's 50 meters. You can just do it for time, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, maybe 8 seconds, whatever. But we are trying to hit our top speed. We're trying to run full out, hit our top speed, focusing on being tall, punching our knee where we're going, attack the ground and push the ground away. We're gonna do this, okay? And the trick here is you gotta take about 1 minute per 10 yards or 10 meters of rest. If I'm doing 40-meter sprints, you gotta take 4 minutes. Promise you. If you don't take that, you're not hitting your top speed. I've put speed GPS on athletes. We have tested this. It's just, you have to, okay? The best athletes make the best runners. I'm gonna say it again. The best athletes make the best runners, assuming their training is good. If I've got athlete A and athlete B and they're being coached at a high level, and athlete B is the better head to toe athlete, if they're doing high level training and everything else is the same, athlete B is gonna beat athlete A. Maybe their PRs are similar, athlete B is gonna beat athlete A. It's just how it is. In addition to this, okay, we're gonna touch on VO2 max once a month. Now, there's a lot of ways to do this. Again, it goes back to training residuals. It will start to detrain after about a month. So I'm not trying to give away fitness here, okay? But it's not gonna be like we're in the middle of cross country season. You do not need to do 1000s, 800s, 1200s. You don't need to do VO2 max work every week or every 2 or even 3 weeks. We're just gonna hit it once a month. Maybe you just go run a 5K, or you find a local race, or you find a fun summer track race and you go run a 3K or something. That's one way to stimulate it. You only need to do it once a month. Maybe we'll go do a VO2 max workout. Maybe for the fun of it, we'll go hit 6 by 1,000, rest equal to the repeat. And we'll get a sense of, okay, like it's in the middle of the summer and here's where we're at. You're actually hitting this workout faster than you did in season last year. You're killing it. Maybe not. Maybe you're a little behind that, but it's okay. It's summer, right? Now, some athletes get too in their heads, so I usually don't do that. We can do other things. We can run for time, whatever. But my point is, we're gonna hit VO2 max once a month. We're not gonna completely get rid of it, okay? We are gonna hit some kind of speed endurance. We're gonna hit some kind of speed endurance once every 2 to 3 weeks. So 2 to 3 times, well, let's just say every 2 to 3 weeks. And again, this comes back to training residuals. We're not chasing speed, okay? There's like these old school mindsets that just want to ignore science and what the best athletes in the world are doing. And listen, sometimes you should ignore what the best athletes in the world are doing because they're outliers, they're not you. But the training principles apply to everybody. Best athletes, generally speaking, are hitting all energy systems all the time. I don't want this to detrain too much. I can get away with it detraining a little bit, but I don't want to let this detrain too much. Easy ways to throw in some speed endurance. Speed endurance repeats are generally going to be between 120 meters all the way up to 300 meters. Just depends on how you're hitting it. You can go higher than that. Don't get me on the details. I'll do a video on speed endurance at some point. But we're going to throw some 120s or some 150s or some 180s on the end of some workouts. So maybe we go 4 by a mile threshold, 90 seconds rest, and then afterwards we run some fast, not racing, but fast 150s at 400-meter race pace or faster at the end. It's fun. It's fun. We're not racing, but we're gonna hit it. So, summer cross country, basic frameworks. Run more, run faster, and don't neglect any of your energy systems. Hit them, but hit them in an intelligent way. Last thing, I do want to plug strength training and plyometrics. If you've never done plyometric work, jumping, pogos, broad jumps, vertical jumps, or strength training, add it in this summer. You should be doing it. So if that's something you haven't done, that actually might be the most important thing for you as a distance runner. Again, this goes back to having really good coaches. So good luck. Have an amazing summer. If I can help you with your summer, please reach out. I would love to be part of the process. Peace.